I'm actually baffled that Mirana hasn't been played more. Given that some of these offlaners are weak level 1, level 2, especially the Sand King and the Dragon Knight who are banned out right now, in my mind, Mirana is super powerful also. A lot of spirits are being played. Mirana is very good at rotating towards the mid lane when you have an Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist Chains, very good setup for the arrow. And with the patch coming out, 731, not 731C, and the jungle creeps becoming stronger, the Mirana arrow to kill the creeps in the woods actually is quite great. And you see now, they get a Timber Saw. This is a good thing. The idea for Motivate now is not for the Mirana to play with the Timber Saw, it's for the Mirana to play with the Ember. You help the Timber first 2 levels, he gets level 3, you kind of bail on the lane, and you return there once the Timber Saw is level 6. No one is going to be rotating there to kill him, so he's going to be absolutely fine. And Mirana is free to do whatever she wants. If she's missing off the map, the mid laner cannot play freely. She's getting a lot of farm in the jungle. She can pretty much choose whatever she wants to do. And the only thing she kind of needs is the urn. A bit of a bad thing that it got nerfed, so you're going to be needing a bit more time to get it up and running.
My concern, though, is that they picked the Timber Sword this 17th, and now Polaris can answer the Timber with a really strong lane. Ursa, Monkey are always some of the 2 standouts. There's plenty of others that you can pick up, and I'm 100% in agreement that now Mirana is going to look to play with Ember, but if Timber has a bad lane, the Mirana might be forced to stay in Timber's lane a little bit longer. That's not what Motivate were wanting with this draft, and all of a sudden, you can kind of lose some of your strength that you were hoping to build up with the lineup they have. So for me, it's interesting. Like, they didn't even look to protect the Timber as much with some of their bans. I guess Necro's decent, nothing else. It's very difficult though, especially when you have the 8th pick. Often you are protecting that hero, and well, in this case it was the Ember that they were protecting with their ban. So I feel like Polaris are going to easily counter the Timber with this carry now for Natsumi.
True, the lane could go bad for Timber, but imagine now you get an Ursa, you get a Monkey King, and you look at the heroes of Polaris, they don't have good ways at locking down the Ember, locking down the Mirana. Timber, inside of the cogs, could be a good one, but you can imagine that at some point, Pagna most likely will be going for a 4-staff, and that's going to be a good one. So Polaris, those heroes that actually counter the Timber in the lane, probably aren't going to be that good in the game. And imagine you get 2 melee approach here from them, but they go for the AA. That's actually cool, and I think it puts the Snapfire in the mid lane.
Yep.
I think this is a better approach than what we were kind of thinking about, because as I said, the Ursa, the Monkey King, those heroes, I don't see them as being particularly great in this game just because of the lack of lockdown. But the AA is a different kind of beast, because you don't care about the Timber Saw. You're gonna let him get farmed, because as soon as you get your level 6, he's a goner. So now Polaris can easily go for a CK, for a Faceless Void. Okay, Faceless Void is banned out. Maybe even a Sven, something that has a stun in the lane with the AA, pressure the Timber Saw a little bit, and then as soon as the A is level 6, bam, the Timber Saw is dead. So I think I'm liking this approach more.
Yeah, now like you said, it puts a Snapfire more than likely mid. Although you could still go crazy and run a Snapfire Clockwork off lane as long as Snapfire, which honestly sounds like a decent lane. You've got a melee hero to put in front of the Snapfire, someone who is going to get aggressive and can utilize that cookie. They could do that. I don't think they will, because I think we've seen Yopaj really like the Snapfire versus the Ember matchup mid. In fact, he's dumped at that matchup multiple times, and Lelouch has proven that he can also play some very unconventional heroes mid and look very good on it. So wouldn't be surprised if that's the route they go down. But for Motivate, how do they tie this draft together? What hero are we looking for in regards to KMP's carry?
5 seconds remaining.
I would want something that can actually play with the Timber Saw relatively early on. It's a tough one to call. No, whatever I think about kind of dies from Polaris. You have a Clockwork AA, they kill almost any hero. Either that, or do they have the last pick? Not even that, so it's not gonna be an easy one for them to round this one up. I'd actually be fine with Motivate themselves getting a CK. You know, it's a deny pick from Polaris because the CKA is one of the strongest lanes that goes with the AA. you are lacking a stun, and you want to have a stun so that you can set up for the Mirana rotation. You kind of want to have a opportunity to kill a hero in your safe lane just as much as in the mid lane. So then you actually have to guess where the Mirana is if you're focusing on the Timbersaw. So I think that's the route I'd want to go. CK is my number one if I'm going for a carry on Motivate.Trust.
My only concern about the CK is just they have a lot of AoE control on Polaris, so maybe the Phantasm would have not as much of a benefit in a game like this. He might struggle in that regard, but I like your point about having just a stunning carry, because you, as a Mirana hero, as a roaming support, you always want to have as many lanes accessible as possible to set up these ganks and get early kills.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see it. They banned out the Raid King. I think that would have been perfect for Motivate.Trust, because looking at Polaris, they use all of their spells, and once the Raid King comes back to life, it's over. You don't do anything. So, in that regard, a Roche taking hero would be nice, but I still think they are lacking a lockdown. So Sven, who is not in the meta right now, and the CK, who is, I'd say, quite a lot in the meta. He's being played are the two best that are left. So Motivate.Trust already gonna go with that one. At this point, you usually look at your carry and you're like, what are you gonna win the game with? Usually, but in my mind, you should approach this as a team. Okay, so they'll go for the Roche taking carry. It does give you slow, so I guess slow from the Ursa plus the Decrep, you might be able to get an arrow in, but not against the Pango lane. I'm not impressed by what Motivate.Trust went for.
Could also be a little bit of a block pick. Maybe Polaris again. We spoke about the Ursa, at least into the Timber. The lane counter is nice, but not for the AA combo. I guess you're also maybe expecting it to be a double melee with the Pango and the Clockwork, so having an Ursa could be nice into that matchup, but in the end, Polaris, they're going to go down the Terrorblade route. So there is decent ways to be able to deal with the illusions. It's definitely not the strongest laning combo, in my opinion. The Terrorblade, along with the Ancient Apparition, you don't have a stun to set up for the Cold Feet. And Terrorblade, regardless, likes to have a hero that can stun, so you can always have a potential to get a kill when you pop that Metamorphosis. So I think maybe it's just overall a big game counter. They feel like the Terrorblade can take over and just be the win condition for them.
True, it just comes down to this. Motivate.Trust. This is again the approach that we've been seeing yesterday, when a weaker team, which is here Motivate.Trust, are going for a lineup that is harder to execute. Look at them. They have to be running around the map constantly with the Ursa, with the Ember Spirit, with the Mirana. The Pugna needs to be pushing towers. You need to play around your Timbersaw so that he doesn't die, but you need to be away from him enough so that you're getting enough of farm. And the Mirana always has to be part of the kills, because he's only one on your hard lockdown. But they have everything they need on the side of Motivate.Trust to punish this Terrorblade. They have everything they need to make him suffer, and if they manage to do that, they can take a win. But I think as yesterday we saw, when a stronger team is playing an easier to execute lineup, and look at how easy it is. They go with the hook shot, the Ice Blast, Mortimer's Kisses, the hero is dead, Terrorblade is farming, you're slowing down the game. Motivate.Trust, they make one mistake, they're probably gonna be afraid of going more aggressive, and then the only thing that Polaris need to do is protect the Roche, which they are really good against with the Pango and the Clockwork. That's why one of the reasons that I wasn't liking the let's pick up a carry that is good at taking Roche, because the enemies, once they use their spells, they're gonna be out of gas, just because you have so many good ways to fight in the Roche pit. AA Blast, Clockwork, Hookshot in the Rocket, you have the Rolling Thunder and Mortimer's Kisses. I don't know if it gets better than that. That's why I'm gonna be not only leaning towards Polaris, but I think they're gonna be getting a pretty convincing victory here.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we also casted Nevermind playing the Pango, and he looked really, really good. I'm trying to remember now. Polaris. Yeah, there was a game where Polaris against Lil Gun, they picked the Pango, and Nevermind just looked dominant. So he's back on the Pango once again. It's going to be exciting to see how the new addition Polaris can shape up on this hero. But we'll see. I too am kind of big fans of the Polaris lineup. It just comes down to execution, but you said that you feel like they have probably a lineup that's easier to execute. I'm in agreement as well. So we'll see if Motivate's a very small margin of error. Let's see if they can You have one of those games that we used to see often from Motivate through some different rosters and maybe about a year ago with this team.
Yeah, I just want to see 4 staffs on Motivate.Trust on both the Mirana and the Pugna. Oh, Xavier's eats an arrow.
It should end up going down. Mastros with the first point in the chains. Gonna have a second one up and available now as Mastros swings zone over the tree. One more swipe. He's able to pick up first blood. So a beautiful start for Mastros on the Timbersaw.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I was starting to talk about those 4 staffs. I think that, you know, you don't have to have the Aegis. You don't have to have the second life. If you have 2 4 staffs on the side of Motivate.Trust and you use them to save your Timbersaw, that you can re-engage into a fight. So that might make it a bit easier for them, at least to approach team fights. The problem is, until you have those, I still see the Timber dying multiple times, and then later on in the game, the Terrorblade will still be a problem for him. But definitely is a way with itemization and understanding how you save your heroes to stay in this game and have a chance to win team fights, even though just looking at the lineups, every single team fight could and should start with Polaris just getting a kill right off the bat.
Out of my way.
Is there anything that Motivate can do to kind of prevent Polaris from being able to get those kills off the bat?
When the level 6s start coming out, no. But what you can do, and what is always the best approach, I like approaching Dota from a tactical standpoint, you attack with the Ember and the Mirana with the Sleight of Fist chains into an arrow, and you force out TPs. When you force out TPs, then you know where Polaris are, and then the only play for Polaris is to go for a smoke to kind of spread the map and surprise their enemies. So that... just forcing things to happen around the map, and then by doing that, knowing the positioning of Polaris, I think is the smartest move. Make sure that your Timbersaw is not a target, and you do that by forcing things on the other side of the map.
And I definitely feel like that's something we could see this game, because Dire do have a lack of control. And that's not the right way to put it. They've got Hookshot, you've got Rolling Thunder, you've got Cookie, but just getting pickoffs on side lane seems super difficult. So you can have Gacha Boy look up to split the map, force rotations from Polaris, get them in a position where they can't 5-man as a team fight, and then Motivate can use that advantage. Like you said, now they can read the map. It's going to be obvious when Polaris are going for these plays, so you can get yourself set up, or you can just look to avoid it entirely.
Yeah, for sure. Polaris need a coordinated attack to kill a hero. They need a hookshot. They need more, and Cogs and the Mortimer's Kisses, and the AA Blast, of course, to go on top of it. But that's always gonna be ready wherever the AA is on the map. What I think helps them in that regard is that the level minute 15 shard. Once the AA gets it, the AA is very good at pushing out the waves with minimal risk, and then the AA will be pushing out the waves as much as possible, with always being ready with the Ice Blast. That is a relatively low cooldown, I should say, so that could help you kind of apply the pressure and not allow Motivate.Trust to go forward with their
plays. In trouble. They're able to land him inside the cogs, and never mind, with 2 points in the shield crash, will offer the damage required to find our second kill of the game. So beautifully done. As soon as they saw a window of opportunity for the Pugna overstepping the mark, Polaris pounce.
I think this is a mistake from the Pugna, not going for the boots first. You know who you're up against, the Clockwork. The only thing you need to do is not get caught by the Cogs, and you get surprised by that just because the Clock has the boots and you have the Wind Lace. And sure, you have pretty much the same movement speed, but you would have so much more.
I was going to say mid lane, look at this. It looks like Leaf TP'd mid, refilled the bottle from Gacha Boy. It did a lot of damage against Lelouch on the Snapfire, but Playhard's going to be able to move on over, try and secure one of the runes. So at least it's a nice early movement from the Clockwork, getting a kill bottom and also trying to help secure the Snapfire's lane.
Okay, so now Mirana has the Urn of Shadows. Getting a kill on the top lane before Timber gets level 6 is tough, but actually Natsumi is pretty low, so this could end up this could end up badly for him, but I just don't see the Mirana helping much here. So in my mind, Tigger should try to go mid, and this is kind of the issue, and maybe one of the reasons that Polaris decided to put the Snapfire in the mid lane, because she has a cookie, and it is a good way to get yourself away from the Sleight of Fist chains and dodge the arrow. So I'm not sure how good of a target Lelouch is, but on the bottom lane, I feel like the Clockwork could be a good one. Slow from the air shock, slow from the crap into an arrow is a solid approach. I just want to see what Tigger wants to do. For now, it seems to be stacking the camps as much as possible.
Just looking to try and amplify that farm. No one can really take stacks very easily. Maybe they're going to give this one over to the Timber, try and get him at a stage where he's unkillable. Oh, apologies. Mid lane, Lelouch just solo kills Gotcha Boy. That is, what we were speaking about throughout the draft, that this Snapfire into Ember matchup is very, very Snapfire favored, and finding a solo kill proves to be the case.
We're not even gonna mention the CS because it would be too brutal and painful memory to an Ember who just got absolutely demolished by the Snapfire. I feel like this hero crushes most of the melee heroes just completely, and Ember is one of those guys who likes to be all close and personal. Top lane, Natsumi is in trouble though.
He should end up going down. He's got the boots to help out with his movement speed.
Radiant's top tower.
I try and play away from the trees, but it's a bit unfortunate when you move yourselves to the location of the woods. There's plenty of trees to Masros to chain on over to, and even gets a tip for good measure.
Yep, luckily for Polaris, the Mirana wasn't there, so no early charges, but the mid lane, Gotcha Boy is in trouble again.
Oh, not again. They don't have Ultimate Kisses, but it looks like it will not matter with the help of the double damage rune and Play Hard, putting his body in front of any reinforcements. They will find a secondary kill onto Gotcha Boy.
I mean, I was kind of like Snapfire, what's with the damage? And then later on I saw the this DD rune. That was just insane. Like new technology, new weapons, new cannon. What's happening? But yep, again.
Yeah, Masros. Xavius wasn't expecting Masros to have that much damage on the Timber, so he tried to TP out. But yeah, Masros level 7 already is proving to be something that they can't deal with at the moment. And Polaris, their answer to the Timber wasn't in the lane. It looks like they're wanting this game counter instead.
Yeah, they're probably gonna ignore him until they have level 6s. I'm pretty sure the AA will be getting the book. The ulti of the AA is much more important than the ulti from the Clockwork. He can run in, but now he's gonna be running into his death, I guess.
So this is scary now, because like you said, the only way for them to deal with the Timber is the level 6 on the Ancient Apparition, but you are starting to feed the beast. Masros has 4 kills, and these defensive items are going to be picked up shortly. So is there anything a Timber can really go defensively to help deal with the Ancient Apparition counter?
Well, the Hood is the classic one, and then I think you get a Yules in this one. I think you need an item not to make you tankier, but to kind of shield you from the damage. I think that is the approach. It would be a big mistake if Masros would just go for tank items, let's go for a Lotus or something along those lines. Though you know, a BKB wouldn't surprise me for the Timber with this good of a start.
I wouldn't hate a BKB at all. It's definitely, you know, one of the heroes that we don't see go down that route, because BKBs for noobs, Timbers like to see. But with Masros getting this huge Ancient stack, he's going to be propelled to levels that we really wouldn't often see on a Timbersaw.
It's insane. Perfect laning phase, a lot of kills, a lot of last hits, and now some of those last hits are gonna be from the Ancients. It's just beautiful. And KMP, he understands that there is a movement going towards him with the Snapfire not being in the mid lane, so he gets the hell out of there. Leaf, even if he dies, I don't think he'll mind it that much. And he's actually a very hard hero to catch overall.
Yeah, and it's not like Dire have many ways to be able to take towers either, so this is going to be a very slow siege. I mean, you've got the catapult, the second wave coming up in a minute or so, so maybe they're going to rely on that to put some more damage in the tower. But I just want to quickly mention KMP, he's gone for a Battle Fury this game on the Ursa, so they're really looking to play their late game, it seems.
Oh, bottom lane, Leaf is going to be found out. I think that he can't really get out from this one.
Especially not with the Mortar Kisses being laid down. A suppressive fire, so never mind. Can just hold that vision. An easy kill for them. And now with the Pugna not being here, they won't have to worry about one of those nuisance supports killing the waves and preventing the push. So they should finally be able to take this tower. Beautifully done. It is Kisses on cooldown. What is it? 120 seconds maxed out. Nothing crazy though.
So with the Ursa going for a Battle Fury, oh okay, they're gonna get a kill in the mid lane. That's quite nice. With Ursa going for a Battle Fury, I can assume that Motivate.Trust, they want to overtake the early mid game. Of course, that naturally comes with the Ursa, but they want to win the ultra late game if it comes to it. So Terrorblade, his biggest timing is when he gets the BKB, has the Skadi and the Yasha. Maybe he's going for a Dragonlance. No, he's gonna go for it. So Manta, Skadi into a BKB. That is when he's at his strongest. He crushes everyone and he looks to overtake the game at that point. So Motivate.Trust, in my mind, they're trying to overtake the early game, which their lineup is good at, kind of survive that mid game when the Terrorblade will be at his strongest. And in the ultra late game, the Ursa is actually pretty powerful in this game. Might even be more powerful than the Terrorblade himself, just because of the nature of the heroes that he's playing against. They don't have much lockdown for him whatsoever.
Yeah, and I guess the Fury Swipes is, yes, it's physical damage, but you are kind of okay with mem fighting.
Dire's structures are fortified.
So we'll see. We'll see how that matchup's going to come into play. I am in agreement. I think the big window for the Terrorblade is going to be that Skadi and that BKB, especially Skadi, just to deal with the Ursa, deal with the Timber. They already have the Ice Blast, but of course that's going to help out a lot as well. But when we're seeing Motivate, this is a huge window for them. They know the only way really Polaris can take fights is off the back of their ultimate. So whenever they're not available, it's always go time for Motivate. They're going to go in though, play hard. Oh no, the arrow's on point, so he doesn't get the cogs pushed back. Play hard now in no man's land. So able to reposition, never mind thinking about rolling to the middle, just gets a connection before the chains lands, but it will not matter as now they're onto Lelouch, cancelling out the Mortimer Kisses. Lelouch is able to reposition back to that safety of the tier 2 tower. So Polaris, they're going to lose 2 heroes and their tier 1 tower along with it.
I think a big mistake from Polaris in this game is that they didn't put enough emphasis on the AA getting the early level 6. He was just running around map. He was level 3. Finally, he got the book, and Xavius with a few of the creeps on the top lane, which did cost him his life, will get that level 6. But this Timber now is super powerful. The thing I don't like...
The arrow connects onto the tier 2. Lelouch is going to be okay. Mastros thinks twice about diving deep to the Snapfire.
The thing that I'm not sure about the Timber is he's going for the Senjin Kaya. Oh, just a second.
Astros going to be in trouble. Yeah, there we go. There's the initiation into the Blast Blast. They don't get the blast damage, but as long as they get the flyover with the tick, he will pop afterwards. So that's a big kill. Playard gets the streak, and now they're going to continue to take the fight. Rolling Thunder on cooldown for another 10 seconds, so they will be lacking the control. And actually, Gacha Boy wants to step in. Chains, a beautiful way to set up for the arrows. Gacha Boy cleans up one and gets out with ease.
Yep, and one thing here, Mirana going for an Aghanim Scepter, considering that they have a ton of damage on Motivate.Trust and that they don't have a ton of lockdown, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm just not. I think that it's a bit greedy. 4 staffs much better, and as I said, the item choices on the side of Motivate.Trust, I'm not liking them. Masteros is going for a Sanjin Kaya. I like that he has a BKB queued up. I'd love for him to get that one instead of the Sanjin Kaya. Sanjin Kaya is good for damage, it's good for farming, but he's not gonna survive anything more with having like 300, 400 more HP. He's still gonna die all the same.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Take us.
It's the Polaris. Position 2 is going to be in trouble as Gacha Boy should be able to be in place to cancel the TP. Arrow's going to be too late. Can he just TP out now? They're not going to have a way to cancel. Oh, he already... Oh, of course. Apologies. My bad. Silly me. There's the loose... Nope. Okay, well, he could also just do that. And just somehow... Oh. Oh, no, they see him.
Did they see him? Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Okay, poor old Lelouch. He's still making a lot of space. Like, this is... Keep in mind a strength hero, so Lelouch, no one's coming. Like, finally they smoked to try and connect. Now they're coming. All right. Never mind with the Rolling Thunder from afar. They're going to try and chase down KMP with the Ice Blast on point. The burst potential is something Ursa cannot deal with, and now they can connect this to another kill on Leaf. But they're going to be cautious though, play hard, looking to show up. Gacha Boy's back in the midst. They have the damage to turn this around as they're swarming under the T2 tower. Mastros over to Xavius. Mastros He's a bit wary right now on how deep he goes, but with the Ice Blast on cooldown, he doesn't have to fear for too much longer.
That was a solid approach from Polaris. They got 2 kills, so not the worst thing in the world, especially with the Pango getting out. The problem is, of course, this tower falling. With this tower falling, you're playing against an Ursa. You won't have 3 of your towers and the outposts which are protecting the Roche. Okay, never mind. He understands the importance of it, and he gets him out. Luckily for them, the side of Motivate.Trust, they don't have a lot of tower damage if the Pugna isn't alive, and even then, Nether Blast still level 1.
Honestly, I still don't know how I literally saw him TP in my face, and I'm like, no, he dodged all the stuns. Now he can TP up. It's just a bit of a boo-boo, but you see a net worth lead advantage for Motivate. 3,000, and meanwhile, KMP's, he's getting his farm. Look at the Ursa. He's having a very good time.
He definitely is. I kind of... don't understand why Polaris didn't come and help Lelouch. I guess he just said, okay guys, I'm dead, don't come. Gotcha boy, though, if the hookshot connects, he's in trouble. No more remnants, but they don't see him.
They see him on the ward. He just walked inside the river, but they had the ward placement, so Polaris dropped down all the ultimates required to get that kill on the position too, and again, that's another streak given over.
Interestingly, Xavius isn't going for a shard. He's going for a force staff himself. I guess you want to have another way to stop the sleight of fist chains into an arrow, which is kind of the only lockdown for Motivate.Trust until the Ursa, let's say, gets a basher. So good approach in terms of saving your teammates, but they're gonna have to rely a bit more on other heroes showing on the lanes to push them out. I guess the Clockwork with the rocket flare just isn't too bad at pushing out the waves.
Dire are scanning.
Radiant, Moonlight Shadow. We're gonna pile their way to top with Xavius. His position with 2 other Polaris heroes. You have the ward on the high ground, kind of the Tinker ward location that may have seen Lelouch transitioning back to the T2 tower, but this is kind of the concern and issue that we have with Motivate's lineup. It is a bit more difficult for them to jump in and start fights. They're going to be reliant on Polaris overplaying their cards. Oh, it's Spacer. They're in Roche. Oh, nice. Play hard. Scouts this out, reading them like a book. They got the confirmation, but how do you make the play now on Polaris? You need to get to the neighborhood. An Ice Blast for the connection will force KMP out of the area. They don't have the Ice Blast for Masros, so the Timber knows that he can be up in their face, and he's got a BKB. He's well and truly unkillable. Let's look at Masros go to work. There is no answer to a BKB. Timber Swords with the Ice Blast expiring. KMP can move back into the pit.
It's literally him understanding perfectly what he needs to do. Wait for it, wait for it.
One of the kisses. Never mind. He's going to look to jump in as well. They know the enraged will cool down for KMP. So never mind. Swipes a double kill off the back of the swashbuckle. He's still in trouble. Another swash in a couple of seconds. And he will be killed off thanks to the mails from Prox. But look who showed up. Natsumi, the threat of the meta.
Yeah, I think they can't go for Roche because the mid lane tower is still up. So they'd rather get that one down and continue having good vision or Polaris. Okay, someone made the call. Someone made the decisive call. We'll see very soon if it was the right one.
They don't have ultimates on Dire though. All they've got is, I guess, Hookshot and maybe Ice Blast enough to kill one hero. Let's see if the combo has to be perfect. Maybe it's just making space for Roche. The Aegis going to be on the ground soon. Gotcha boy, does he have the quick enough fingers? They get the arrow! Oh, they get the arrow. Someone needs him. Roche, get the Aegis, get the Aegis! Let's see what he does. Aegis of the Immortal in the hands of the Terrorblade, but Masros is back in the middle of the fight. He wants revenge. He wants something out of this. A skirmish victory for them, but they won't get anything. A BKB and chains to the safety of the tower, and now Polaris are hunting. They're not done. They don't just want the Aegis. They want more kills. They want blood. They might find it with Leaf, but a Decrep is able to get him out of harm's way, but that is a gigantic win for Dire.
at least Motivate.Trust got the Roche, but not having the Aegis on the Ursa is a big deal. We always emphasize how important the second Roche is, the first one not so much. But the reason why the Roche went for the Terrorblade was stunned, is because of the beautiful Force Staff from Playhard. He used it on the Mirana, no more leap charges were there on Tigger, and that's why they got a kill. But now Motivate.Trust, they have to fight right away. They have good catch in terms of killing one hero, and if you kill one hero now, and then just overtake the map, it's gonna be a good 2 minutes taken away from the Aegis of Polaris, so they really won't be able to do much on it.
Top lane, they're starting to connect to the Timber, anticipating that they're making the play on Masaros. He's going to see play hard in the tree line. Oh, this is so much information. This is so vital to how they can start the fight, but they're going to deal with the backline. Pugna instantly killed off. How can they transition this into more, though? The more of a kisses, it's just a signal. It's a beacon for Lelouch's positioning, as soon as they get confirmation, they chain to the north and bring him down with no remorse.
I'm here. Like, kill me, please. Or maybe it was a beacon for his teammates who are like, okay, my friend, you're crazy. They're stronger than us, and they just get out. So giving the Pugna for the Snapfire actually is quite great, especially with Polaris having to bail, so you know which route they're going. Now you know where they are. This is that part. You gotta kill, and you're gonna be overtaking the map with that, delaying the Aegis. The problem, of course, lies in the fact that Polaris, they don't want to use this Aegis for fighting. They want to use it for farming, and if Natsumi is untouched, he's gonna be more than happy with how things are going.
It's a lot of information they're getting, though. Nevermind sees Mastros along with Tigger pivoting towards the top tier 2 tower. So let's see how they can set themselves up for a defense. Lelouch going to TP in. They're going to jump. Trying to target down the Timber Saw. Chain control's perfect, so it doesn't get the BKB off to the last second. But that's enough. Masaros just eats all the abilities. BKB used, and he's okay with this. They can't get anything more because Dire, they lack the jump and they lack the control.
Everything that is being done in this game is to secure the second Roche for Motivate.Trust, or if you're Polaris, to stop Motivate.Trust from getting that second Roche. You're gonna see Campy now with the BKB going aggressively. You don't care that the enemies have Aegis. You want that top tier 2. You want the map control on the top part of the map, and make sure that the enemies are super scared going in there. So while that is happening, Natsumi is trying to help his team by trying to force the enemies to follow him. They're actually gonna come to fight.
Oh, this is for Skadi. I thought Natsumi would wait for this, but they're just really putting the importance on defending this top tier 2 tower.
Yep. 5 minutes before the Roche can spawn, and you are just doing everything for that one. That is the... if Ursa gets the second Roche, he gets that shard, he's gonna have the blink, probably close to the Basher, and that is the timing where he can actually go toe-to-toe with the Terrorblade at the point of the game where the Terrorblade should be at his strongest. So Polaris are trying to prevent that from happening, and now having another minute on this Aegis, they're gonna make sure they get as much map control on the top part of the map as they can. Clockwork, though, be fine.
You're right. I don't know how they really can kill God. It's gonna have to be like a hook shot into Cog's pushback, into maybe Lelouch follow-up, or you could start with Lelouch's Scatter Blast. Often that's a bit difficult to read and react.
I don't know if
Natsumi. Hang on. They're gonna try and pull him up. Can they even?
It's scary. It's scary for you to commit. This is a big thing for Polaris. This is why him taking this Aegis is so huge. They managed to defend the top tier 2 on the back of it. They managed to take the tier 1 in the mid lane. Those are the 2 access points to the next Roche. And that is where this game, I don't want to say will be decided, but if Motivate.Trust don't get that second Roche, there is a good chance that Polaris has secured themselves a victory. And if they do, they actually have a chance of dodging the Terrorblade timing and just actually out-carrying the TB in the late game, which is not something that you hear too often, but this is what happens when they add so many new items to Dota, the talents and everything, and then pretty much any hero can be super powerful in the ultra late game.
Yeah, and we said the big reason why Polaris weren't able to grow a net worth lead off the back of the Ages, because KMP with this Battle Fury. He's keeping up in farm, Mastros getting a lot of farm as well. Nevermind, I think just trying to clear the creeps and make some chaos. Yeah. Wants a little bit of farm, and he'll get it. But yeah, the Aegis, Polaris, they really Like you said, though, they did a good job of being able to defend the towers and take that tier 1 mid and get some of their own objectives. Like, if Ursa gets Aegis, then it can be really scary. But still big props to Motivate and what they were able to get out of the map, even though Dire had a bit of an advantage.
Both teams knew what they wanted to do.
KP. Clean up the clockwork. A quick and easy jump inside the river. Now they're eyeing up more by the triangle. KP. Gonna lead the charge on the Vanguard, but no one is there.
Now you know from the side of Motivate.Trust what the access point towards the Roche pit is from Polaris. It's coming from the position of where the tier 1 tower of the Radiant used to be. So if you overtake the mid lane, it's gonna be almost impossible for Polaris to find an angle to come into the Roche properly. Oh, KP is not in a great position.
Gotcha Boy's gonna be able to jump in. 2-on-2 at the moment. The rest of Radiant are converging on the area.
AA blast.
Now Polaris, they do have the tier 1 bottom to TP2. They're going to be a little bit too late with the cavalry. Mastros throughout the river trying to stand his ground versus Natsumi, but I think that'll be it. I don't think Polaris is going to continue chasing.
They can heal the Ursa. This might be a re-engage from Motivate.Trust. There is no AA blast, so their Timber is pretty much
Nevermind's
untouched.
going to jump. He's into the middle. Nevermind. Rolf's going to protect you for the moment. Into the ultimate. The northern side, Mastros, look at this. He's away from the team. Mastros, he doesn't have anyone nearby. A defensive BKB is going to give him some breathing room. Chain out the last second, but now he's in trouble with the BKB on cooldown. They don't have the ice spots, but they've got the Terror Blades. Damage isn't enough. It is. Mastros is gone. TB shows up. We see how important that Eye of Skadi is to be able to deal with the Timber Saw.
Both of the offlaners trying to be cool, but in the end, it's only Nevermind who managed to do it. He finished off the Pugna despite the force stab, despite all of the movement speed. He finished the Pugna off as the Timber was fighting the enemy team there. The problem, of course, Timber died, and the Pango did not. Pango got out just barely. They tried to stop his blink with a Sleight of Fist, but he got out like half a second before it would have connected. So Polaris, this is a big deal for them. Another BKB charged away from the Timber Saw. The big thing, though, if the Roche spawns early, there is no meta, and that could be a problem for Polaris. If you just get into a good position from Motivate, as I said, take over that mid lane, which Polaris are trying to defend with everything they have. You can see that ward on the cliff. Then there is not going to be an angle for Polaris to go in. Good thing for them, though, is that the outpost is in there. Gotcha boy in trouble.
What? No, he's biting off more than he can chew. He should be okay. They
scanned him.
Yeah, they know where he is. Lelouch, oh no. What a haste rune. What a timing to get a haste. Oh, what? No. Oh.
And we can see Mortimer evolving, trying to walk on 2 feet, so...
Oh, never mind. Okay, he runs into the arrow as well. This ward mid, kind of the remnants of the tier 1 tower, instantly gets pinged out, recognizing that they must have had some vision on me moving towards this area.
Okay, so next Roche in 35 seconds. They're hoping on Motivate.Trust that it is up. Actually, Ursa is like, no, who cares? We need to overtake the outpost. Okay, this is smart. This is them not being all emotional, and they know what needs to happen for them to have a Roche going for them. So they need to have vision. The problem I see, of course, okay, there is no vision from Polaris actually on the top part of the map, so this is a good thing. The only one controlling it right now is Motivate.Trust. If they push in the mid wave, that gives you all the info you need to get the Roche. So now they're setting up for that. If they get a kill a little bit farther away from the Roche pit, somewhere around the mid lane, that should open it up for sure. So right now, Polaris, I think their approach should be save the buybacks, because you might need to throw the bodies to not allow Motivate.Trust to get that Roche, or better yet, get it yourselves.
We see as well, Lelouch is consistently shoving in bot to almost have this as like a trigger lane that Motivate are forced to go back and deal with. Otherwise, their tier 3 tower is going to take a bunch of damage. It's already taken a decent amount. So we'll see. It's going to continue to ramp up, but Roche is available. Both sides can scout this out very easily. Who's favored in a fight in the pit?
For sure, if there's a good initiation, Polaris. The thing is, with the current state of the vision on the map, it is Motivate.Trust. They have more. The only place Polaris have vision is on the bottom lane to protect their split pushers. But against the Ember Spray, those split pushers just isn't gonna work the way that you intended. So Polaris are just trying to control this area around the mid lane, because with that area being controlled, Motivate are always gonna be, or not being fully in control of Motivate, they're always gonna be afraid of just walking into the pit. If the Ursa gets caught inside of it, he'll die to all of the damage that goes in. He might not even get anything off.
It's time to go. All the lanes in your position. Top's pushed out, bot's pushed out, mid's pushed out. So you don't have to worry about creep waves making this obvious. You're in a position where you're not obliged to do anything else but take fights and but get objectives.
See the line from Polaris. I think that Motivate.Trust are aware of this, and they're gonna play around their own vision. Yep. So this is the perfect route that you're taking towards the Roche pit for your enemies not to be ready. But I have to say, Motivate.Trust, they're impressing me with their decision making, and they know what they need to do, and they know how to do it as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Polaris will have to fight, and it is not a favorable fight for them.
As long as they just keep cutting top and mid, both sides are just going to do that. Oh, Gacha Boy's TPing back. Maybe trying to force some early reactions. Oh, the pincer! Okay, this is crazy. KMP instantly into the middle of the fight. Bash onto Natsumi. He's able to turn it back around. Sunder's out, but it will not matter as Natsumi is crumbling out of the damage. And now without the Terrorblade, I don't think Polaris can win this fight. They need to retreat. They need to get out. Never mind, we'll have the capability, but they can chase Clockwork down. Easy 2 kills for Motivate, and this will open up the pit.
Wait. Terrorblade bought a Silver Edge instead of a BKB. He had a BKB queued. He had a gold for it, and he bought a Silver Edge. I understand buying a Crystallis just for the extra damage, but a full Silver Edge and not having a BKB there, he got a Sunder off and still died in a second. That is a big mistake, and now this is exactly the thing that Motivate were looking for the past 10 minutes. Second Roche is in their hands, and actually even the Pango will die.
Well, never mind. He was trying to get in a position to be able to steal Roche, but somehow they saw him pick up the invis, and now Motivate 6,000. They make it 8,000 net worth lead, and they are in prime position. You got the Ag shot on the Ursa.
Okay, so we were talking about Motivate.Trust actually getting to a point where the TB should be at its strongest, but the Ursa is stronger. And they didn't actually have to do anything, because Natsumi decided to buy a Silver Edge at a point where he should have had the BKB. If he had the BKB with a beautiful cogs placement, he could have stood his ground and possibly won that fight for his team, despite Motivate.Trust setting it up perfectly. I have to say, they just played that one tactically in an awesome way. I didn't expect it to be that well planned out from them. So, but still, if he had the BKB there is a good chance that you at least not lose that fight and the Roche is still up. And now you have to be farming for that BKB, which opens up the Ursa to do this.
He's got an
you know that the enemy carry is farming. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because what do you do now? Like, you need to wait out the ages for BKB. That's what you're doing. Now, this next couple of minutes is just you farming in a hope that at the last minute you'll have BKB by then, but it's not like you can disassemble a Dragonlance. I guess the one big thing is that Motivate do push relatively slow. Like, Ursa is not the greatest high ground sieger, and you don't have an Ag shot on Timber, so that's maybe one thing they're banking on, that their high ground will not be opened up on.
I think it's enough if you take the outer towers, but the other thing to think about, Motivate.Trust can dive. They can literally dive. They don't care. There's no way that this Ursa is dying. This is the thing. We talked about it. 2 rounds of spells for Polaris. You can't do it because you only have 1 round of it, and then you have to wait for 50 seconds for another AA blast. So the Ursa can die once, the Timbersaw can die once, and you know what happens then? Ursa comes back and he kills all of you. So I'm really scared for Polaris here. But Motivate.Trust, as I said, they play tactically really well in this game. So I assume they're gonna take all of the outer towers, get a few pickoffs. If Polaris makes a mistake in fight, they will go high ground. If not, they'll wait for the next Roche, and then with the third Roche, they'll be going to enter the game.
Lelouch has to be quick. His Remnant's gonna expire shortly. The long hook shot from Player just in the nick of time. I think he's gonna tick out. And Gacha Boy does, he ticks out. Oh, that's a really awesome play from Polaris, but it will come as a cost. As Nevermind trying to connect top just in case a further fight was to break out will cost him his life.
Neutral creeps actually killed him in the end.
Oh.
The Ember Spirit. He had the A blast on him and he just went for the neutrals to hit him there. So he kind of knows what the threshold is and just waited for that hit. So a very nice play overall. He still does go down and he's the main catch for the side of Motivate.Trust. Okay, maybe not anymore given that KMP has the Abyssal Blade, but still it is a pretty big kill. But Motivate.Trust, they're not going to be caring about it too much. If they take this mid lane tower down, they will open up the map and the next Roche, the full map control will be in their favor. Luckily for Polaris, at least now Natsumi will have a BKB. So the next fight is gonna be very important.
I think the big thing with that kill though is now you see how the lanes have been dealt with. You're not worried about the Ember maybe defending top and mid. You've cut top, you've cut mid, you cut bottom, so all you have to deal is with this creep wave currently inside the base, and then you shouldn't lose any objectives. But well, no one's coming back to kind of help killing off the creeps, and especially with Radiant using an aggressive glyph means that the T3 tower will not fall.
Is under attack.
Oh man, just a poke will get it down. You know, when sometimes people come to see in what state the building is in. Does it need to be repaired? I think this one they just make a decision to just demolish it.
They're coming outside the base. Play hard. All right, they're onto the Timber Saw. Pushes him back into the Ice Blast. Beautiful play from Play Hard. And now Nevermind, he's trying to chain this into another kill. They've got the vision of Leaf. He's not really going to be able to put himself in this little nook as Nevermind will hunt him down, killing off all the trees. But now they still want to take the fight, KP. Aegis for another 30 seconds on the Terrorblades in the middle of the cogs. Oh no! Gotcha, boy. All the remnants dropped on the dome as the Terrorblade crumbles to the magic damage. They'll be lacking the detection to get the kill on Xavius, but it's another fight where the Terrorblade just cannot do anything.
He didn't get arrowed, I know that much. So why didn't he pop the BKB? Did he get bashed and die during the duration of the bash? That doesn't seem unlikely, but still very weird if you're going in for a fight. But Motivate.Trust, very good turnaround for sure. For sure, that was an amazing one. And look at Ember did all of the damage to the Terrorblade.
As soon as the bear comes knocking on the high ground, they just instantly trying to hide like, please, no, not me. Another bear killing people stories.
So Natsumi is thinking about the Satanic. I think you should look at the Ursa, wait for him to get the to buy the items for the next one. If it's not an MKB, think about the butterfly. Sure, you're dying for magical damage, but come on, get that BKB off. It's gonna be enough. And we can see that KMP is actually waiting with 5,000 gold. Of course, he wants to have a buyback. You don't want to be losing the game right now because the push of Polaris is actually quite powerful just by dying. But he's actually thinking about the Silver's Edge on the Ursa. So more so in regards of catching people other than... yeah, making Polaris afraid to step out on the map. That's actually a solid approach from KMP if he does go with it. I like the way that Motivate.Trust are thinking here against Polaris. They're definitely, they definitely are making some 200 IQ plays.
Bottom lane, he needs a bash. KMP will not get one, unfortunately. Nevermind. Doing a pretty good job to keep these lanes shoved out. Always under the pressure of KMP jumping, but the Lotus Orb's enough. And oh, he went back for the MKB on KMP.
Yeah. It's the safer choice. It's definitely the safer choice if the TB gets the butterfly, and also you want some extra magic damage to deal with the Terrorblade with your hits. This is a good smoke from Polaris. The waves are pushed in. They might actually catch a big target. Ursa would be an amazing one. Ursa and the Ember are the ones you want to go for, especially Ursa without the buyback.
They're baiting the lane though. I think someone's going to come farm this instead, but if no one defends bottom, it will be obvious. It'll be up to Xavius to try and shove this lane out, so they're going to look to connect here. Lelouch moving aggressively to see if he gets any information. They might run into Gotcha Boy. I see him.
Spotted him.
They need the chain control. It's going to be perfect on Gotcha Boy once again. Nevermind. It's going to start into the cookie follow-up. Is the damage enough? No, they blocked the hook shot. As Gotcha Boy will escape, but the overclocking from Play Hard gives him a double hook to at least get Tigger, but it wasn't that granddaddy kill in the Ember.
That's the one that they wanted. If the hookshot had connected with the overclock, that definitely would have been a kill. But Terrorblade not being close, also not having that extra damage. You know, Polaris, they really have to combo things perfectly to stun someone from 100 to 0.
Lelouch.
Timbersaw?
They're connecting. Both sides are ready for a fight. Natsumi trying to step in. He's got the break. They need the control though. Master's able to reset his positioning. Now Nevermind's onto the Pugna. A 3-on-5, but they've got to be so cautious of moving into Radiant's territory. They do not have vision nearby, and they'll think twice about this.
Again, this game is revolving all around the Roche pit. They understand we can't give this one to their side. I said second one was to prevent the timing of the TB. The third one is to win the game. So Polaris, if they take that one away from Ursa, that's going to be a very, very big thing. And Masteros, he just TP'd to the bottom lane.
They're going to see.
Scouted.
They're going to ward that. They see the team connecting, but I don't think it's going to matter. BKB, but he doesn't have a TP to be able to get out of this. So Masteros has to be on point with his dukes, but unfortunately Natsumi gets the information, and now the follow-up is going to be there with a hookshot from afar as Playhard and co. A beautiful movement. From top to bottom they go. Polaris are doing a really good job. Even though they're 8,000 gold behind, we see how aggressive they're playing. You know, just focusing on shoving out lanes, making heroes, you know, be solo, and then moving instantly with your better mobility to catch out these heroes. And you know, it's been a big reason why they've been at least be able to put themselves in a position to contest this game.
Ooh, that was a spook, you know those sentences that that bear is probably more afraid of you than you are of him, and both the Ursa and the Clockwork kind of getting spooked from each other there. To be honest, Clockwork was much closer to death there than the Ursa because he was relatively alone.
All right, Harry Freak, what do you think the probability is? Because yeah, what do you think the probability is before this fight breaks out? No looking. Give me a guess.
I'm not gonna look. I'd say
Gotta be quick, we gotta fight.
55 for Motivate.Trust. 55 for Motivate.Trust.
That's pretty goddamn close, honestly. I wouldn't have said that. When I looked, it was 50% even. So we'll see what's gonna happen after this fight. Smoke on smoke. Polaris has 5. Carving their way into Radiance. Triangle, play hard. He gets the jump. The double onto KMP. He's going to be cautious though. Natsumi's going to win the man fight, but the BKB still not used, and it doesn't matter. It's finally Natsumi. He can stand his ground and flex the muscles. There's Terrorblade proving to be an issue throughout this fight. Let's see if they're going to be able to rejoin though. They've got multiple buybacks. KMP's actually going to use his. Meanwhile, on the backline, Lelouch. Oh, he's in trouble. Your Scepter can get off in the last second. He cannot. The chain control is too much of an issue for him to deal with. They're back in the middle, though. Mastros pushing back Natsumi. Meta's only got a quarter duration left. They need to get more out of it. Break is out. Mastros able to chain himself to safety with the Ember. Oh, Lelouch. Look at that. The 25 talent ripping them apart. No buyback on Gacha Boy. Mastros, can he get out too? Self-chains. Ice Blast coming back. He's going to go into the Ice Blast AoE. Oh no, Masaros. Oh, what's going on? Polaris, multiple buybacks out of themselves, but a huge team fight victory.
You know, leaving things up to the younger generation. Snapfire says no, because these guys don't know what they're doing. And we talked about the Ursa actually being more powerful than the Terrorblade, but are you stronger than a grandma with a gun? She definitely knows how to go hunting, and this is a big thing. They win that fight
just
so heavily.
Oh no, they're going to bump him away from the hook shot, but the beautiful thing is play hard. He has a double hook shot to play with. Ice Blast coming shortly. KMP really holding on to this BKB. Doesn't want to use it to start the fight. Oh, he went in the arrow. What was that? Tigger. That was a beautiful prediction on the arrow. To the north,
you need to get some kills right now.
He's hunting. Trying to find Lelouch.
No buyback.
Still has the BKB. The Terrorwave's going to come out with the chain control. He's not going to use it. He's not going to use it. The well played. The tips are out. That's a dieback for KMP. And that might be all she wrote now.
Let's see, the Ember is gonna come back. He's still very powerful and does a lot of damage, but you're still up against the Aegis and the Cheese. Did they get an Axe? What did they get? Yeah, they got an Axe. That's why the Terrorblade has the Terror Wave, right? So, let's see how much the Ember can actually do.
Gacha Boy, instant Sunder. Gotta be cautious about the Ice Blast from downtown, but it doesn't matter! What is that damage? Natsumi's gonna try and stand his ground off the back of the Satanic. They cannot man fight the Terrorblade. He's got the Aegis, he's got the BKB in the back, so they need to avoid him. To play hard they go, a TP out cancelled thanks to the arrow. Natsumi against the world. There's no one here.
Thunder again
There's
in 2
no
seconds.
one near Natsumi. He's got the Sunder, BKB again, Bioax coming to play. They've got the outpost to TP too. Mastros is in trouble. He too can BKB
he
TP.
used the
What?
meta.
No, he cancelled his TP. He cancelled his TP. They had a bash to potentially stop his escape. And now with the chain control, Ice Blast as well. Pop goes the Weasel. Mirana's gone as well. Once again, tips are back and forth as now they can try and crack the high ground.
Radiant's bottom
Ember
tower
still
is under
alive, but the
attack.
problem is he only has 1 remnant. Only 1 remnant is not gonna cut it. You cannot fight the Terrorblade. This is at least a lane of Rax, but I would assume that Polaris will be going for 2. You want to wait for the Ursa before you can fight, before the Mirana buys back.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Might be a melee Rax mid as well. You've got Ursa up in 30. Rana can also buy back, so they're probably going to have a 4-on-3. They can even use Terror Wave as well if they want the meta.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under
This is
attack.
risky.
Still has the Aegis. Ursa is coming back up. They need to bail. Natsumi shouldn't be greedy about these Raxes. Okay, he's gonna be greedy and might be good enough.
Radiant's middle
that-
They will
Out.
chase him. They will chase him.
He wants creeps. He wants farm. He wants creeps. Me want farm. But he's out. 2 full sets of barracks claimed and Polaris. An 11,000 net worth lead. And now we've got a break carry freak. Guess what the probability is now?
I'm guessing that Polaris have a really big chance of winning, probably like 85, 90%, but I would put it at 100 because I can see that Motivate.Trust are... Motivate.Trust, as the third row started approaching, as that late game, we mentioned it yesterday, less... well-oiled teams that haven't been playing that much together, and Motivate.Trust, they had some changes in their rosters. They are not going to be playing the ultra late game that great, and you could see how well they were playing for the entirety of it, but when the ultra late game came in, they were too afraid. KMP, he needed to be more aggressive with Ursa. But first of all, did I get my prediction right with the win percentages?
Yeah,
that is the most important thing.
That is the most important thing. It's up to 90%. Now, for Polaris, I mean, we've had a lot of action since the last time we brought it up. It was dead even on 50, and now Polaris are able to get that Aegis. They're able to get 2 full sets of barracks, and now they've skyrocketed this lead into a position where it might be, very difficult for them to come back here on Motivate. What is the angle in, though, for Radiant? How do they have to take the fights? What is the most ideal fight for them?
It doesn't change from what it should have been beforehand. Now it's a lot harder. Ursa needs to go in like a madman, use a BKB and kill someone. Then you reset the fight. You force Polaris to chase you, and you get the Ursa out with 4 staffs, and then you get a bonus kill with the Ember Timber or whatever with the magical damage. So KMP, the way that he needed to play the Ursa, I don't know if you watch those Ursa games when the Ursa is basically unkillable, running around the map, just jumping on everyone. That is how he needed to play, just with having his buyback and his team somewhere in the vicinity to assist him. But what he's doing, he's trying to find a perfect situation to use the BKB and kill everyone. That is not gonna happen. You need to be aggressive. You need to get them 1 by 1. So try to isolate the fight. Try to make multiple fronts so that the Ursa can go in and out of the fight. But the first kill needs to happen with the Ursa using the BKB and jumping on the target. You get the Abyssal, you get the bash, you get the kill. That is what needs to happen. KMP, I just think that he doesn't understand how he needs to play, and that's kind of putting a problem and a strain for the entirety of his team, not only himself.
Hey, just for another minute here for Natsumi. I'm trying to siege with the catapult timing as well. You'd hate to give away this first life with just poke, and oh wow, the artillery. It's being laid down from afar. It's 95-second cooldown, so it's definitely something to mention.
The little shredder has gotten bigger. Oh, Natsumi.
Yeah,
dodges the arrow.
They're going to
barely.
blow up the Aegis. Alright, there we go. It didn't have long left, only 40 seconds, but it should stop the push. Are they going to go in now on round 2?
Imagine KMP being there when the Terrorblade dies, when some of these players got a little bit closer, he jumps and he kills the Clockwork, let's say. The fight suddenly is amazing for the side of Motivate.Trust, but KMP just playing a little bit too defensive. I think at this point, you don't have a buyback, so you maybe want to wait for it. The question is, while you wait for it, Polaris is going to be getting more and more map control, shoving you in more and more, and actually being able to read your moves more easy, and that means that the next Roche might go in their favor as well, if Polaris are actually looking to wait for that one, but smoking through the bottom lane is actually a good approach as well.
Gotcha boy enters the low ground. They feel to execute a kill onto the Ember, so they're going to go for someone else instead. They feel like Mastros is the easier target. They're going to block the hook shot. Another... Wait, play hard? Oh, this is really deep inside the base. There's a pick off favoring Motivate. And a lot was committed as well. The Rolling Thunder wasted. He gets a bash as soon as he escapes the side of Motivate, and he will be out of harm's way, I believe so. Gotcha boy. They've got the ward on the backline by the outpost, so it's actually a decent spot for them to take the fight as KMP jumping over the tree line. Targets Pango down for the moment, but he doesn't get the BKB off his Gotcha boy. Protected for the Aeon Disc. He's going to be okay, so they just turn their attention to Mastros instead. A self-fuse, giving him some time, a little bit of breathing room, but it looks like it doesn't matter. They surround the Timbersaw, kill him off for 100 seconds, but hang on, KMP. He wants to go into the middle of the fight. Abyssal Blade, or Nevermind, gives Natsumi an opportunity to turn it back around. Sunder's on cooldown, forced off into the Satanic. They didn't even kill him. Natsumi survives. A beautiful force off to keep the Terrorblade alive. And that is looking like it's game as Polaris find a way back into this. Up inside the base they go. Swarming, pillaging, plundering Radiant's territory. As now Ember, he just brought back. The stuns, the control, the body blocks as well, all for good measure. And he's going to tick out through the burners. There you go, Polaris. In the end, we'll find our game 1 victory.
Radiant's middle tower.
You know what, Eris? I think I'm gonna start crying right now because your immense energy during the duration of that fight, it broke my internet for 10 seconds, the 10 main seconds of the fight. So I have no idea what happened and how it happened. And I'm actually getting, they are not tears of joy, they're tears of literal sadness. Me not seeing that last team fight. It's so sad, but it's still not over. KMP 1 versus 5 alone against the world. Do you think he's got a chance?
We'll find out. I don't know. He's gonna. Oh no! What was that timing?
He's afraid.
They instantly called a GG before he even died. That tearaway before he jumped, and there you go. The beautiful thing is, hey Freak, that there is always the stream's a little bit behind, so you can go back and watch that last fight, and you can get to witness the beautiness of Polaris and how they're able to come back in this game. Of course, it wasn't a crazy deficit in their position. I mean, it got to a stage of what? It was about 10,000 at some stage, but Polaris do such an exceptional job to find this Mat 1 victory.
Yeah, but I have to say I'm impressed with Motivate.Trust. Until it came to the ultra late game, they actually played without fear. They knew what they needed to do. They controlled the parts of the map they needed to control, and they controlled them in a good way, you know? I have to say Polaris, they did a good job pushing out the bottom wave, constantly setting themselves up for success so that they can do something in the mid lane. And that first Aegis that they actually got a lot done with it, protecting the tier 2 on top, getting that mid lane tower in the mid, which we saw was actually a big access point for them to go for the Roche. But I have to say, Motivate.Trust, if they were I have to point a finger at KMP. If he was a little bit more confident at what his hero could do here, I think he could have created so much for Motivate.Trust. The thing is, Polaris were not afraid at all. They were pushing out the waves with 1 or 2 heroes, and there was never a punish, and pretty much a solo Ursa could have done it. So in my mind, Motivate.Trust, I'm actually happy that they gave us a game like this, but Polaris, they went with a later game oriented lineup, and we talked about the Ursa dealing with the Terrorblade later on, but you know what? Lelouch actually showed up. That late game Snapfire, man, that damage is insane, and we can see that he did the most damage in this game, and even in those later on fights, it's just insane how much the little Shredder can do.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see the versatility on a hero in general, and even the Snapfire, something that we're not seeing as much at the moment. Of course, had a high pick rate a couple of months ago, but teams are not putting as much priority on him. But just the fearless mentality from Polaris, being able to shove out the lanes, find the opportunities for them to have a bit of a window of opportunity to take these fights in a position where they could do so in an advantage, and that put them in prime position to be able to take this game one. And now they have the lead in the best of two, but the beautiful thing is there is always another game, and we'll find out if Motivate can come back in game two to tie up our first series of the night.